Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show panel discussion time where me and Lynn are talking about the first part of the show and the topic, which is that Chris O'Leary guy and how, you know what? Anyway, welcome back to the show, Lynn. Thanks
Oh,
for coming
thank you
on.
very much.
And we both have perspectives on this.
Wow.
So, not everything. Okay, we got a good sound check. My mods know he's going to eventually ask for it. So up front. So sound is good. Sound and see and hear y'all. Okay, good. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, the person that I was. Oh man. So what do you think of this dude that we've seen so far, Lynn?
Are you sure you want to know?
Well, let's be nice about it because he was
I'll be tactful. I will.
right. He was preaching stuff,
Yeah.
but what do you? Go ahead.
I guess my biggest problem is he's written a book. He is carrying on something fierce where I don't know, abductees. He's had these abductions for a time. He's had a moment to process them and to look at them from a logical point of view. He's had a moment to uh, realize what happened. Uh, I think that I think my biggest problem is when you have a product to peddle, you have to come up with more and more and more. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like sugar flavored Fruit Loops. You
Right.
know, different. Oh, all grape or something of that nature, and that
Right.
troubles me. It also troubles me a great deal when uh, at the last part of that, when Amy was wrapping up, he said he had fun. I'm sorry, there's nobody who goes through this who considers reliving it, so to speak, a entertaining thing.
No. No.
It's
I
not
agree.
entertaining.
That right there. He was I think that's like a patent thing to say when you end an interview, you know. Yeah, I
Not
was
necessarily. Really, I've had a lot of interviews, and I've had them all from I had a good time to I'll never be here again, and everything in between, you know?
right. Yeah, I don't know. His credibility. If you can show me the book, because all I can find is stuff about David Bowie on
What's the
Amazon. I'm
name?
looking on Amazon.
Is Chris O'Leary? Is that right?
Yeah,
Is it even published yet? Is he trying to go through publishers? Is he trying to self-publish?
I don't know. I'm looking
Who
for. There's
knows?
a lot of Chris O'Leary's out there,
Yeah.
and I'm looking for what he's done. And I said it earlier. I have not heard of this dude except for ufology. I've not seen the art that he talks about. He talks about it in the next part. In the 15, it's 15 minutes more. Sorry,
Hmm.
15 more minutes of stuff, and he gets into one part that I really wanted to. I really wanted to bring it in there. Right? Did you hear
Hmm.
the entire interview, Lynn?
I heard what you had posted. I was here the whole
Okay.
time,
Okay.
but
Well,
I
there's
think
only about
that last 15 I haven't heard.
that last 15 gets really juicy after he starts talking about the actual abduction and sampling process. Now, everyone here has heard of what happened with me. I really need to play that part. I'm gonna see if I can play it from my end. Um, okay,
Well,
and I'll just
Storm's prepared to do it for you. It's not a problem.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought he was busy with something else. That's okay.
No, he's putting Keith on the air here in 10 minutes, and
Well,
he's he'll be ready in 10 minutes.
okay. Well, let me see what I can do here. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. And
I'm
oh
not saying
Lord,
he's a charlatan. I don't know that much about him. I am troubled by the ranting and the carrying on about political issues and things
right.
like that.
I wish he would just.
It's sort of like don't look at the little man behind the curtain, a distraction, if you will.
Hmm.
I got to fill up space here, so I'll start screaming about politics. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm reviewing it right now. Oh, there's more than 15 minutes.
So really. Now, this is all the same interview with Amy.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's see.
all the
And
same.
and thank you, Amy, so much for allowing us to do this.
Yes, thank you, Amy. She wants her stuff put out there. So I'm listening to other things.
She's got some terrific
God,
content, that's for sure.
sorry. Sorry for the dead air, guys. No, come on. I'm here we go. Okay. Um, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Okay. Okay, now I'm sorry about the dead air, guys. It's just if this was easy, everyone would do it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, let me see here. All right. Now, here's what I've got to do. I've got to actually go over to the window. I can't have two tabs open because it won't do that. Y'all can see the guy, right? It says
Oh yeah,
1:15:30 or it says 43 minutes on y'all see that? Well,
yeah.
hopefully. I mean, it's hard to see. It's tiny little letters. Let me get this. Oh, this is going to be interesting. That's not going to work.
Okay.
That's not
Well, if
going to
we
work.
can just hang a few minutes here, we can get Storm to put it back up.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
see,
no
it went
problem.
black. It went black on my end. Nobody. Okay. See, and when I. All right. Let me just. Uh,
Yeah, no sound.
that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's. I'm gonna go ahead and let Storm take it, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah, there was no
Let
sound.
me let me inform him real quick.
Okay. We'll just. Okay.
He would like to have that when you're free. Okay, for a moment.
It's gonna be at 44 minutes. Like just
44 minutes.
44 minutes. We'll only miss like 13 seconds, and it's not very.
Yeah, he'll pick it up here in a few minutes once he's
Okay.
on his show real good.
All right. So let me go back over a little bit. Um. Right. Okay. Let's look at the chat. Why not? Let's look at the chat. We're a community show,
Hmm.
so Tim just said. Also, kind of insulting the way he said telepathy was bullshit, and then he says Greys were telepathically controlling him.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that too.
What I saw that too, and it's like, oh, now you're taking questions and all, and then the telepathy thing. Come on now, it
You,
ain't
you, you can't have it both ways, guys.
right. No, I mean, he just
So
had
there's one
said.
lie we caught him in right there.
I think. See, I don't think he's lying. I think he's selling the sizzle, and I think
I
he's
think so too.
misinterpreting. he's misinterpreting, and it's such a big topic, such a big field. There's so many
Right.
things going on. You, the aliens are also interested in ecology. They want to know about the the planet, and Raven is coming in. Hey, Raven.
Hey, how you
Hi,
doing?
Raven.
Pretty good. Yeah, me and Raven were talking earlier about Amy's interview just a little bit because we've both been covered up today. You know, I know I was covered up today. And yeah, that Chris O'Leary, oh boy. Anyway, Raven, you saw Chris O'Leary. I know your take. I might not know your take. Go ahead, tell me what you thought of
No,
it.
I understand his. I thought he was very refreshing from all the different abductees that have I've watched, uh, and he wasn't afraid to show his displeasure, shall we say, at the events that have kind of plagued his life. And I thought it was really, uh, what really struck me as being cool about him was even after all of this ongoing trauma that he has had since he said going back to 1966, so that would be 58 years of this abduction stuff, he still had a sense of humor. And it was a good sense of humor. So he was funny, he was genuinely funny. I liked his little wisecracks and stuff. I didn't necessarily agree with his political rant, but other than that, I found him to be very genuine. Um, I don't agree with everything he said, uh, because there are many different ETs, and they all have different agendas. I don't think it's an orchestrated thing. I don't think they're that organized about stuff. He's got, like you said, Nathan. I agree with you. He's got one slice of the pie here that he's experiencing. There's the whole rest of it that's unknown to him, and he didn't strike me as being um spiritual, but I don't know.
Not a
He seemed,
spiritual bone in his body. He never
yeah, he didn't.
mentioned anything about that.
No, no, I don't think so either. I do
I'm trying
think
to
that
keep the
he
volume
was.
here. I can barely hear you guys here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll speak up. I would say here that personality wise, I thought he was doing pretty good, and for somebody who's continually abducted, he got a decent outlook on things, even though that might be somewhat caustic. You know,
Jaded.
well, caustic, very, very caustic. Uh, he's he seems like he believes what he's saying. That I have no doubt of. What worries me, and sort of like I was telling Nathan earlier, he's got a product. And for that product to sell, he has to continue to add to it because that's how consumerism works in this country.
Yeah.
So
Right.
there it is.
Well, this guy, he does have a I can't find his books. Maybe he's writing under a different name or writing for someone else, like ghostwriting or something. But the way he said Jeff Daniels, do y'all know who Jeff Daniels is?
No.
Jeff
Mm.
Daniels, he is an actor. He was the dude in Dumber and Dumber, the blonde guy. That's who he is. That's Jeff
Okay.
Daniels. And
Hmm, that I
remember,
I'm biting my tongue, Nathan. It hurts. Make it stop.
go figure. He said Jeff Daniels. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber. And let me get his Wikipedia on stage. On stage.
How did you keep a straight face on that? You know.
I was muted.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Jeff Daniels, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah,
That's
and
too funny.
also on Saturday Night Live. By the way, I think he's a comedy writer for a TV show, and he wouldn't say, probably because he's under NDA, like, don't tell them you write for us. I think it's Saturday Night Live.
Hmm.
The way he was talking, I'm pretty sure he writes for Saturday Night Live.
Well,
And
you know,
Yeah,
especially,
that's what
you
struck me.
even
thought,
if he does, I mean, that explains a lot. But
yeah.
I think
So
explains everything, actually.
Mhm. But Raven, what were you going to say?
I found him just to be very refreshing.
Well, he's refreshing from people like Elizondo and Grush. All super serious. We're in trouble and all this stuff. And he has a sense of humor about telling us, "Oh yeah, we're all screwed, y'all." By the way, it's funny because I'm like,
And
hold on
I'm
a second.
okay
And,
with that.
the best effect was that bouncy camera. I love that. That's got to be straight from Hollywood, right? The bouncy camera. Look at that. Look at that. Watch me. Is this gonna make me look at check out that bouncy camera? Every time I talk, it's like he's holding the camera when he's doing it. Them aliens are bad. Aliens bad.
I'm gonna be seasick now.
Sorry about
No.
that. But he was doing it's like I'm like, dude, you work in television. Get a stand for your phone. Come on. He knows.
And when he talked about meeting his son, I just had so much compassion,
Right.
so much empathy for him.
I can get with that. I can jive with that.
And you
Because
could tell, I mean, you could see his face change and the pain. You could see the pain on his face.
mhm.
When he didn't think he did it right, and now that was his one shot. He'll probably never get to hook up with him again, see him again, and
right, and that did suck.
that was very
part
touching.
will be shown when Storm brings it back on. I'll show that part. But
I guess what bothers me a little bit more about this thing, and the whole thing bothered me. He demands compassion from other people, but he's very short on showing any.
yeah, and he's called everybody liars and had mental illness, and I'm like, hold on, dude, I never knew their names either, and I went and looked at my old show. I was not very descriptive of the way the habitat was. Okay, I realize that, and I realize it's a hard lesson. I do. That was
All of this is learned. I mean, you can't just pick up a mic and know it.
right, and I
This
was
is all
doing.
hard won learning.
Yeah, I was trying my best to describe it, and I've got a pretty good mental picture of it now. Let me describe it. Okay, there was a habitat. Now, it was like quarters. It wasn't like an aquarium, but it kind of was because there was no furniture. There was a shelf in the wall that kind of raised up and stuck out. Now, remember, I had oh yeah, my pen's down here. I had a perspective going on. Hold on. I was standing.
I've got to find a way to turn this volume up.
What do you want to turn on?
Huh?
What do you need to turn on?
Volume. I gotta get the volume up. I can barely hear you guys.
Well, turn up your volume, Raven.
I got it cranked all the way up, and it's like I know this thing goes louder than this. I know it does. So I play music on this thing all the time. I'm on the tablet.
The tablet. You need headphones.
Yeah.
Sorry. But he's gonna come up. We're at 44 minutes or something like that.
Hi, Storm.
Okay. Hey, Storm.
44 minutes, 12 seconds.
Okay, that'll work. Just play it, and we'll talk about it later.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Shout out Storm 2012.
Tell you what, the hero cape works for him pretty good.
Sir, Mr. President, sir, tears streaming down his black, soulless, hypnotic eyes to his little pointy chin. And he says, sir, we need your help, sir. We're looking to destroy America. And I said to them, boys, I'm way ahead of you.
This is the rant.
So he's never going to say anything. They're never going to tell him anything.
talking about disclosure.
Are eating this up right now. They're
All right.
they're loving everything you're saying. Like everyone's like, wow, this is amazing. I just posted on,
Techromancer, I love that.
and I said, tired of the flim flam of ufology and want to hear from a solid abductee. I met a legit friend. If you don't believe it, you got to hear how genuine this guy is. No BS. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, Chris. So
Well-
somebody had one question. I just want to ask you,
I'm looking
Justin
for questions.
Jones. No, I'm not. I'm starring
yeah.
them all, and I just want you to feel like you have your time to say, like, especially with your brother, coming on, and I hope you both, like, we find a good time when we have, I mean, at least 2 hours to sit down and talk, if in the future, it doesn't have to be, no, if it's
Sure.
weeks out, whatever we have to do to schedule it in, we should do it.
Neither
Because
of us will run out of important incidents and things to say in 2 hours. So
And yeah, and so Justin Jones says, you said we didn't have much time. Please explain.
well, what time is it right now? Oh, it's 9:11. What does that tell you? Okay. So
Did you
Case
have
in
to,
point.
so the name of the show
is,
before this, because I have an obsession with numbers. So before, my show was called Alien Girl 111 when it was just like a screen name, and we took off the numbers. So yeah, numbers are a big deal here. That is weird. It's 9/11.
I don't think. Listen, these things work on their own time frame. I've seen some that are incredibly old. I saw a mantis that could barely walk. He was being helped by two tall grays because the tall grays work for the mantis. The mantis is the one in charge. And why do grays, even the tall and small, have vestigial noses and mouths that look like ours? Because those beings are the first hybrids. There was the mantis, and they created the grays, which are largely alien, but there's a little bit of us in there. People think the tiny nose, the tiny mouth, they never use that mouth. They don't eat, and they don't smoke weed, and they don't drink milkshakes, and they don't talk. If anybody ever tells you the grays, they've heard them chittering or clicking or making some language, they're completely full of shit. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours with them. They don't do that. But how much time do we have? I don't know. I don't know how old they are, but they've used the word soon a lot to me.
Time
They
is
are very
relative.
proud of what they're doing, and
Especially
they don't.
milkshake
They
time.
think we owe them. They do. They're incapable of empathy. They have emotions, which usually range from boredom to annoyance to anger, but they don't seem to have any empathy for us. They think we're so lucky, and they have said to me more than once, soon we will all live here together and everyone will know their place. So guess where ours is?
Oh, I guess that's a commercial. I'm gonna mute it for the commercial, okay? Oh, you got this? Can you hit skip?
And they think
Thank
it's
you.
great. They think it's just great. One time, if you're abducted, if you're an involuntary coworker, the minute you get there, whether it's a base or a very large ship, there's a lot of walking. There is an enormous amount of walking these corridors. You got to go from one end to the other. And I remember, I was about, early teens, 13, 14. And I'm exhausted because when they take you, you're missing sleep. You're exerting all this energy in some ridiculous stupor. And then you got to get up and go to school. And I was exhausted. And I'm like, the alien's like, okay, pick up the step. We got to get to a lot of places. We got to go to there. Then we got to get over to there. And then we'll do some testing on this. And I rolled my eyes and sighed. I was like, oh. And he stops. Ooh. Turns and looks down at me because they're 7 feet tall. And they kind of look at you. And they go, And another thing is, they don't speak in a stilted language. Tell me, human, what is your resistance based upon? They're not Daleks. These aliens are so in your mind that they speak to you in the exact manner that you personally are used to hearing. They use conjunctions. They use slang. They use, ready for this? Sarcasm. Okay? I've encountered sarcasm. But in this case, the alien leans to me and he looks at me and goes, "What's your problem?" Just like that. It wasn't even what's your problem. It's what's your problem. Because that's the way we speak around here. And I said, and he raised me out of the stupor a little bit so I could answer. Never fully. They'll never be near you fully cognizant. It'd be a huge danger. You start screaming and throwing fists. Never. But they'll raise you out a little bit.
Start
Answer,
manifesting.
"What's your problem?" And I said, "I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it anymore." And he said, "Well, you better change that attitude right now. Do you have any idea how lucky you are to be a part of this?" And he gestures. "This is important.
Sounds like a pleb talking.
This is our
honestly.
future." And when he said "our," he meant not so much theirs, but together. This is our future going forward. So you are so lucky to be here. It's not even funny. So you better drop the bad attitude and let's get
Intern
going.
aliens.
And I'm like, okay. What else are you going to do? Okay. In fact, he made me pretty enthusiastic the rest of the way because we're just puppets. But we do not share the enthusiasm for what they're doing. So he's told me they're going to live here soon and they're going to be in control. And it's going to be wonderful. Yes, for them, because they can't picture what would be wonderful for us. Any other questions?
There's a lot.
Oh,
But
please.
I just want you.
Stay
I
on.
just want you. No, there's a lot, but there's been so many. I think I just really want to make sure that I can get you back on the show because I want to round out. I want you to tell me anything more you want to tell everybody.
You're getting ready
And
to cut me off.
I got it.
That's
No,
okay. You got me. You got a full day. I would prefer
no.
if we could rattle through a couple of questions and I'll answer them quickly. I really
That sounds
want to know
great.
what people are
That's why I was like, yeah. So we got.
We can come back and fill them in some other time.
Yes, dude. Seriously. Okay. Do abductions come out of nowhere, or do you get a feeling when it's going to happen?
No,
Oh, this part.
they've shocked me by just walking in the door. When you notice something, then you know it's going to happen. But I've never had any premonition. Although this incident in 1996, before they were materializing, they controlled my mind enough so I picked up a newspaper and a lounge chair and held it like this, so I was blocking the whole sky. But I've never had like a notion that it was going to happen. They either a ship shows up or they come walking at you, and that's how you know. Like you see something in the sky, and go, "Wow, oh boy." At first you're like, "Oh wow," and then you go, "Uh-oh." And they circle back a lot. They do that a lot. My brother thinks it's because, they're deep, finding you and like, "Oh, we overshot them. Turn it around, go back." I tend to think it's more they're making a loop to be sure that the entire perimeter of the scene is under control.
I tend to agree.
Okay, next
with
question.
that.
Beautiful. That was so concise. I can't tell you. Sometimes it takes people a half hour just to answer that question. Who are you? Who are you? Have you developed any sort of heightened senses/awareness after
This
so
part
much
right here.
contact?
Well, my spidey sense starts tingling. And then I know Dr. Octopus is not far off. No,
Give me
in
a
fact,
break.
I'm just as oblivious as I always am.
Just as a muggle.
do
Same
I
muggle
understand
every day.
women any better? No.
I like that part where you said
Social
that.
norms, not so much. Heightened senses. I don't know. I mean, I am an artist. I'm an accomplished painter. My collections
Where?
My paintings are in collections, public and private, on 4 continents.
Where?
Stuff to
Where?
sell art in Antarctica, but
He said
Someday.
Antarctica.
He's
Tough to
I'm
sell
gonna-
art in
You know,
Antarctica.
and I'm an accomplished musician.
If a man
where? What is he? What karaoke? So am I.
Does Amy have any sort of link for him?
Comedy requires a
I'll have to
certain
check.
awareness, a certain way of looking at things.
Oh, comedy.
If you're really going to write a joke, and I do write monologue jokes for a late night talk show, but I'm certainly not going
Saturday Night Live.
to embarrass them by bringing that forward. But other than that,
Talk
no,
about us.
nope. I am
Mhm.
still just about the same, I guess. I mean, it's hard to say if you've been taken since 1966 throughout your life. I have no baseline to compare myself with. I mean, I'm certainly the product of a lot of contact as well. Have they told you about our purpose as humans? Besides to look after our planet. This guy. I
no
love you
reason.
anyway, man. But they don't care if we look after this planet. They have stopped us from, like, if we go to blow it up with nukes, they've shown you they'll shut them down. But they're not asking us to take care of the dolphins or make sure the beavers get a sandwich now and then. They're taking this fucking world. They're taking it from you,
Give me a
and you can't even
break.
stop them. That's all there is to it. Your grandchildren are not going to live in the world we live in, and you may not have grandchildren.
They're gonna have the
I'm
iPhone
assuming
20.
I don't know what their timeline is, but it's getting close when they're actually putting human-looking hybrids into
They're already
society
here.
all over the place.
I've
A
talked
lot
to
of
them
abductions from
or seen them.
the people I know and understand to be true. They don't even take them in the ships anymore. They take them to the apartments where these human-looking hybrids live, and they go, "So how does this look?" And they go, "Well, you got the sofa in front of the refrigerator. That's usually in this room over here." Oh, okay. So, dear Chris,
Yeah, we got another one. Dear, does Chris believe any of us have contact with them, have been abducted, even if they won't remember it? Do you believe that any of us who've had contact with them have been abducted, even if we don't remember it? Because Helen,
how are they
obviously
having
she has
contact
the
with them
memories.
if they're not abducted?
Well, Helen had them come into her room, but she doesn't
It's
have an
gotta be
exact
one
memory
way,
of
right?
them physically.
Only
taking
one
that
way?
photograph. She just has
Oh,
memories
okay.
of them coming into her room. She also had the physical window broken as well. So she
That's
has
usually a burglar.
Mhm.
So you got to watch that. But what do I know? So
Best
I'll
thing
say
he
this
said all
to
night.
you,
What do I
Helen,
know?
And to anyone else, if you see them in your room, guess what? They either took you already or they're just about to. And usually they're bringing you back. Yeah, if they're in your house and they're in your room, they are not, looking for spare change you left on the dresser. They're not getting milk and cookies. If they're standing next to you, then they took you. That's all there is to it. And I'll go a little bit further. If you're outside and you see, wow, this flying saucer lift up and go off this way, which happens to a lot of people, who was over these buildings right next to me and took off. They kind of came up from behind that building. Yeah, you're the one. They just dropped you off and they're leaving. And, when they leave, they do lift your sedation. They prefer to put you in bed, but that's not always possible, especially during daylight or times when you're driving. But if they're standing around your bed, yeah, they've seen you naked, so get used to the idea. Don't be embarrassed.
What else is new?
Can you
you look
induce an
fine, by the
abduction?
way. I'm sure you look fantastic. What?
Can you induce an abduction?
Yeah, well, it's who would want to? Tell me why. Ask this guy, Sholto, why would you want to be abducted by aliens? They won't let you remember most of it or any of it. You still want to go? No matter what they do to you? How about if they tell you, look, yeah, we're going to take you. We're going to extract some sperm from you, not in a fun way.
Yep.
We're going to stick a cup, an athletic cup jock of metal lined with about 150 needles. And we're going to attach that to your testicles. And we're going to suck it out that way. You still on board for this abduction? Because I don't think you are. So, and that happened to me. Okay. I woke up from the pain, and that was my awareness that they were extracting sperm from me. And why can't you give me one of these hot alien chicks? Pair me off with another good-looking abductee, and I swear to God, if I'm not on the hook financially, I will give you all the hybrids you want. Seriously, line them up. Kronos, Lothos.
Dude, you have to start your own show. You're hysterical. I can't believe this is your first video interview on YouTube. Is that true?
It is true. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so grateful. You're just such a gem. Everyone's just they're gonna just be. I'm just like, this is fantastic. You're such a breath of fresh air because it's just so real. I'll just keep going through the questions.
Okay. Have they done anything for you? Like if you were a good pet, you get rewarded.
Yeah, another commercial. Those, I believe in those aliens on the commercial more than I believe in his aliens.
The way I know that what they were using my sperm for to make hybrid beings.
Here comes.
The reason I am 100% certain that they were making hybrid beings is one time we were on a ship and they're taking me back and they go, you know what? We got about, we got a few minutes before we have to take you back. We're wondering, would you want to meet somebody? Just say hi for a minute. And I could tell they were lying. They're good at lying. They never have a few minutes extra. They live for their schedules. Okay. But they lifted me out of the stupor to a point where I could at least respond. I was not clear-headed. Otherwise, I'd be going for those spindly necks. But, you're not. So they raised me out and I go,
you do realize
I said,
that is a 6XLT from king size.
I said, yeah, sure. Sure, I'll meet somebody.
Sure.
Say that again.
Hang on.
Pause it. What'd you say?
He screwed up.
Oh, I thought you were talking about dude's gigantic cappuccino in the video. Okay,
No.
it still applies. Coincidence? Quantum. Okay, go ahead, please.
And they go, well, somebody's been asking us to meet you for a long time. And, we thought, we don't do this. But why not? We're going to let him meet you. I'm like, who is he? Because they use the pronouns. It's a male. And they said, well, they're so smooth, these guys. And this is just how they spoke. I'm not like surmising or the conversation. These are the words they spoke. And he said, well, he's one we made from you. Indicating to me that there are more than one. And they said, this guy, and let me tell you, we love this guy. He didn't say we love. He said, we really like this guy. He is so good. He's funny. He works hard. He's so nice. And he lifts up everybody in his work group. He never brings anybody down. He's so positive. And every time we say to him, we want to reward you. What is it you would like? And I don't know what they would expect him to say, more protein supplements or something. I don't know. I don't know what goes on. But what he said is, the alien said to me, and every time we ask him, the only thing he wants is to meet his Earth dad. And that was the phrase they used to me, his Earth dad. And we told him time and again, it can't happen. We do not do that. We just can't let it happen. But he continues to impress us. We've never had another one like him. He is a joy. He is capable. They sound like they love this guy. They really care about him. And they said, and so we figured we'd ask you. So he wants to meet with Earth Dad. Will you do it?
Damn.
And I said,
Dude, Chris.
can I finish this before we?
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to cut me off. I know it's coming close, but
I just yeah, no, everything's good. Yeah, but no, definitely. But no, finish this and then let's chit chat about next
Sure.
time we can get you on.
Okay. And I said, sure. Yeah. Anyone wants to meet me? Nobody wants to meet me. Not down there anyway. So yeah, sure. And they said, okay. Now, and they bring me up a little more. They can dial you up and down. How sedate? They bring me a little bit more up and they say, now listen to me. It's very important. He's not going to look like you. Okay. So when we bring him out, you are going to think he looks very strange. You're going to think he looks very weird. And you can't think that. He will hear you and he will be so hurt. You will break his heart. So you've got to control that. Do not think about how weird he looks. Seriously. Or we're not doing this. It'll devastate him. And they said, now we, meaning him and the other tall gray, one of them talks, the other one stands there. I can't imagine being the one who stands there. Usually it's like, he'll nod along when the other one makes a point. But he said, we're going to be in there with you and we are going to work at controlling you so you don't think anything like that. All right. But there's only so much we can do. So don't think about it and we'll help you not think about how weird he looks. And I'm like, okay, sure. So you hear me? You're listening. Do you get it? And I go, I do. Okay, let's do this thing. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, bring them out. And so some telepathic signal. They walked us to this most remote part of, it seemed like a saucer because the curves in the walkways got tighter and tighter. And we came to a point that was unlit. The top half was completely unlit and just the walkway was lit. There was some dusty machinery, equipment. I don't know if you call it machinery. And there's another curved hallway that connects this way. And coming out there was a female and this my son. And they walk him out. And my first thought was, he looks like Charlie Brown. That was my first thought.
Your son, so you got to meet your alien hybrid son.
I did. They bring him out and he is beaming at me. He's beaming love and joy, and you can feel their emotions as much as you do their telepathy. Usually they're negative emotions. But this kid is beaming up at me with just awe and joy. And I can feel it. And he looked like Charlie Brown. He had a big round head. He just had the tuft of hair like Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown, he's like almost bald. There's a tuft of hair and short little legs. And that was my first thought. But his face did look like me, like a big round me. And the eyes were big and black, but with a ring of brown and then whites at the very corners. And he was kind of pink.
Storm.
That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Raven, how far? Oh, okay, there was just a few minutes. Raven, if you're tired, it's okay.
No, I can't hear. I'm turning my head because I'm trying to hear this, and I've turned my heater off. So that helped a little bit. I've got the volume totally cranked.
Okay, well, let me look at your mic is way up there. Let me go ahead and.
I could try hanging up and calling right back.
No. I mean, I think we're gonna let this guy. We're gonna cut this interview loose. This is fine. This is fine. But yeah, okay. The hybrid thing. Now that was the raunchy part with the metal cup over with the needles. That was the raunchy. That's not what happened to me, right? And I wanted to quickly sketch out the way this thing looked. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult. Yeah, I'm not gonna sketch it out, but it was like the wall, the ceiling. Well, I am gonna sketch it out. The wall, the ceiling. This is gonna be really rough. And
Do
They
you
were
want
on.
Storm to take down the video or no?
I can take it down once it's, yeah, I'll take them out. That's fine. Yeah, but like on the right side of this habitat that I was taken to meet these women, it was like, if this is the wall, this is the seat that she was on, right? It was all molded. Imagine a fiberglass tub, the stand-up
Okay.
fiberglass
Yeah.
tubs, right? Then this is where you put your bar of soap. Well, it was just a big chair. And there was
Mhm.
another one further back on the left that was on the right side, right? There was another one further back on the left. There was one in the middle, like it was like boom, boom, boom. And they were all just chilling. They were just lounging around. And they were all hybrids. They looked like me. They looked like us, except larger eyes at all ages. And they didn't they didn't understand why I looked like the way I looked. Okay. And there was no metal cup with needles in it. That didn't happen, right? Like Robot
I,
Jim said, go ahead.
I had a question about that.
Mhm.
Did these women that you saw, they have hair?
Mm-mm.
I was just
No
going to ask
hair.
that same question. You read my mind.
They had no hair. Not that I could see. They were all bald, and that's the best that I can remember. They were all bald, and I was in a stupor type of thing too, right? Just like
I
that guy
remember.
said. I was in some kind of sedated state to where I couldn't hurt them, you know, because I honestly don't think that I would have freaked out, but we humans mad manifest, okay? We can manifest when we want to, and if we know we can, it's on. Okay, now
Mhm.
if they what he said, dial us down, then that would be the way to keep us from manifesting.
Hmm.
When they dial us down, they put us in a drunk like state to where we're sedate and so chill that we just and the way he
Every
puts
now
it,
and again, they meet a human being that's not sedated too well.
right, and I think I'm one of those, right? Because
I am too.
the mood seemed to change when I whipped out. Okay, real quick, I was taken, the thing happened, and I said, hey, and I was looking around at whatever they were showing me, and there were a couple others there that were busy at whatever they were doing, and it was like control panels off to the side, but it wasn't part of my program, part of my thing, so I just didn't pay any attention to them, right? I was just curious, like, oh, cool, they're the ones running the show, okay, and I manifested a Commodore computer. I'm a nerd, right? And I was like, fix my thing for me, would you? And they did, and they did. But the mood changed once I manifested something like, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat, type of thing. It was just came out of nowhere. And it's big. They're big. It's like not just a little keyboard. It's a big keyboard, a big old age computer. And I mean,
I
it's
rather wonder if there isn't a big difference between grabbing a very psychic individual and grabbing a
that guy.
muggle, as you like to say.
Yeah, that guy.
Hmm.
That guy. Oh
I
my
think
God.
there might be. I think there might be a terrific difference.
Yeah, and no, I didn't feel threatened or coerced or anything like that. I was like,
I didn't
"Hey,
either.
these are my people," and maybe I was taken advantage of. I don't know, right? Maybe I was, but it wasn't by force, and there was no chit chat with the Greys. The Greys, they didn't communicate in words. I agree with that part. They didn't speak like we use our mouths to make noises that shape words. They were talking telepathically, but of course, in one part he said it's bullshit, and the other part he goes, "Oh, that's what they do." Dude,
Yeah,
really?
I caught that.
Yeah, that really
Yeah,
is like
I'm
So,
really distressed by that particular. You know, any credibility that I had towards this, it's on shaky ground
yeah.
because of that
And
statement.
I hate to pick apart a dude's story, right? But there are some bedrock things you got to stick to. Like maybe your telepathy was turned off for a minute and then they let you back on. I
Mm,
can even jive with that because they do that. We are quantum machines and they have a pretty good grip on how to push the buttons and switches and stuff, right?
yeah,
I'll agree to that.
yeah,
But they're
me
not.
too.
He was in the spaces before this. He was talking about they're using the hybrid program to repopulate the earth. And I'm like, yeah, I don't see that. I just don't see that. Maybe they do need something from us. That ain't it. Okay. Maybe it's like the Stargate, not Stargate SG-1, where the Greys have cloned themselves to the point of extinction to where they can't keep doing it because there are too many errors. And they need the master copies, which is us, to work from. Well, they
Well, I'm a little puzzled by repopulate because there's 8 billion people on this
right,
planet.
replace us. He says they want to replace us.
yeah,
And that is the worst invasion method ever. Okay. I'm sorry. I hate to, but to pull out of pop culture, the Valley Girls don't believe him either. You know, worst
I have a
Well,
invasion
question.
that
ever.
bothered me too. Was all the pop culture reference. You were
Yeah.
saying, Raven?
Oh, I have a question for Nathan. When you
Yep.
were having the experience, did it feel to you like that on some level you may have had an agreement to do this at some point,
Yeah.
like
Like it was
before you?
part of the plan. Yeah. Yeah. I did. Yeah. I didn't feel like I didn't know these people. I didn't know the women, but I knew of them, and I didn't know I knew like the guys there, they were the short grays, and I didn't feel out of place. I did
Mm-hmm.
feel sedated. I think that if I'd have known what I was doing, I would have dragged them back home and said, "Hey, meet my wife here." And
Mm.
I think I would
You
have dragged them into my reality. Go ahead.
you think that perhaps the telepathy, being able to uh, if they're able to enter your mind, you can about bet you that you can enter theirs.
Yep. It is not
Yeah.
a one-way street. It is a
No,
two-way street.
it,
And
it,
that's another reason why they're worried about they sedate us when they do things like that, because we can do that. Hello, remote viewing. And Maria told me a thing one time. She was not remote viewing, she was astral projecting. And I think I went over this last show. She went to a place and there were eyes floating, and she described them as black eyes with a yellow outline. So what was going on was that dude was using his own remote viewing ability without the aid of opioids, right? To do it. Because opium, by the way, everybody, opium has historically been used to astral project. Okay.
it works
I'm not
too.
saying go out and get some. I'm just saying that's what it's historically used for, right?
I've had to have it for other reasons, for personal reasons,
Right. Well,
and
for pain
I'll
reasons.
tell you what, yeah, pain, but it sends me into the other side so fast and funny.
Right.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's drug induced at that point,
Hmm.
and it's not very as far as I understand.
That's not a recommendation either. Don't do it. You
Because
know,
you're not
getting off
prepared
that
for it.
shit's nasty.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's addictive, and that's why like over in the Middle East, back when they were doing it, uh, as like part of the ceremony stuff that they would do back then.
Mm-hmm.
Only the priests would do it. Designated people would do this stuff because
Right.
they didn't want the population randomly popping out and getting hooked on this stuff
Right.
because I mean it's not good
With,
stuff
with
for
some people, the addiction's immediate.
right. Some people have addictive personalities. I tried an
No, I
opiate.
mean physically, it addicts
Yeah,
almost
I tried it.
instantly.
It did not. It was the worst experience ever, and it was. They gave it to me for my back. Right. They gave me Valium knockoffs for my back one time, and I
It's when I talk about this stuff, I'm talking about morphine, it's an
right.
opiate, and it's a whole nother ball game
Yeah,
than something like tramadol or Damadol or whatever it's called.
yeah. I don't even know what the stuff is. There's a bunch of different ones. They've just literally made a science out of it, but uh, yeah. I think yeah. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of this stuff with Alzheimer's and dementia is linked to painkillers and a few other medicines they're giving us, right?
My grandma gets weird and livid.
Right. She's seeing and it's not like you're here or you're there. You can see part way. You can
Yeah.
still be here and see things going on somewhere else. That happens too. I've
Yeah.
had that happen. It's really hard to remember those things because usually for me, I'm in a fever and it's hard to remember that
Yeah.
stuff because my processor is overheating, but it's working fast and hard, but it's overheating. It's not functioning correctly. But
If you don't mind, I'm going to try hanging up and calling back. The sound, I can barely hear you.
Okay.
okay.
And I can't hardly hear you at all, Lynn.
I'm sorry, my voice isn't real loud tonight.
This shouldn't be. I mean, I know this thing goes loud. I don't
Where
understand
are
what's
all the
wrong.
headphones at?
Yeah, I'll go in the other room and get the headphones.
Okay, we'll see you back in a minute.
Okay, give me just a couple of minutes here. Okay, I'll be right back.
Nathan's almost ready for a coffee break.
Yeah, it's coffee break time.
Okay.
Let's hope I don't get abducted on the way to the coffee maker.
Oh Jesus!
I'll bring him back to the show and say, "Look, there he is, right there."
Just tell him no. Tell him no. I got coffee to drink here.
He'll have my other alien girl. He'll be holding my other alien girl 111 mug.
No, it's and I look at these stories and everybody has their own story, of course.
Yeah.
But the cohesiveness of this particular one's a bit off.
Right. Well, I'll be back. Take it away if you want to, Lynn. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
I will. How you doing, Storm?
It's interesting watching multiple shows at once.
Yeah, I bet. That is confusing as hell. Yeah, you're moderating for Keith Andrews?
Yep. Moderating for Keith and keeping track here and
trying to figure out which way's up.
Well, I know which way's up. It's just not this one.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking the time out and putting that up. That was good of you.
It's what I do.
I know it is. I'll tell you what, I never saw anybody could do tech the way you do. And I've seen a few. So We appreciate everything that you do here. And I know our Keith definitely appreciates you. I'm just going to do a shout out for our Keith Andrews. We want to let him know that we think of him often. And I sit here and wonder what he might have thought of that particular interview.
I'm not sure that he heard that. It looks like he's busy doing something else at the time, so I don't know if he was able to watch it.
Probably not. So I know that he's real busy. He's Lady Love's coming into town for him, and he's going to be a busy boy.
He sure is.
I just want to let the chat room know that we appreciate all you. Without you, there is no show. So we do appreciate you being in. Want to say hi to Tim, Sarah, Rachel, and Renee. Aussie Tiger. See who else is here. I know Human Jim was here for a minute. And let's see. Yeah. And then from the other show, we saw Joe Stewart and some other folks that we come and go, Zach. And some of the rest of you.
Yeah. Well, you got,
Diane, of course.
It had a pretty good turnout in the previous show, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, that was a terrific
show. Scream Engine. I love some of the stuff you said in the other show.
Oh, yeah. I knew I was forgetting somebody.
Yeah.
I usually do. It's a terrible memory.
Yeah, that's that was. I have my opinions about that individual, and I am going to be very, very nice and keep them to myself.
Okay, nobody buy the coffee maker this time. Wow.
Okay.
Comments. I got to catch up.
Oh, yeah, well, we've been talking to the chat room a little bit and reminding them that we appreciate them. And
I've been sitting here yapping at him too.
Okay. Before I forget, and while she's in the room, shout out Rachel Andrews Flick. I keep saying Frick. She bought us coffees last week, and I did not even shout her out. I'm so sorry. I didn't see it. My phone yells at me, but I try to ignore it because I'm doing the show. Shout out. She's awesome. She's been a fan of the show forever, since I've had it. And
really lovely
I'm very
person.
grateful.
Her and sister both.
Hmm?
Her and Renee both.
Yeah, Renee also, of course. And, well, shout out to everybody, because if y'all wasn't here, I wouldn't be here. I'd be watching cat videos with the rest of the internet.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself here because I've got to start doing some stuff on the other line here. So,
Okie doke.
but I'm still around. Behave yourselves.
Thank you, Rachel.
I told Storm that we sure appreciate him putting that up for us and giving us the opportunity to have that, so we could critique it and look at it from a. I didn't approach it with a jaded eye at all. I wanted to believe him, and I think there are parts of his story that I believe absolutely. And there are parts that I don't.
Yeah. We fill things in to make it make sense. Even if it makes sense in a bad way, we fill parts in. I do it. Everyone does it. It's just the way our psyche is put together. And, this thing about, now, I don't doubt that he was forcibly sampled. Okay. But I don't know if that's what happened. Okay. Okay. I'm a guy. He's a guy. You know what can happen? We can roll over wrong and crush our junk, and it hurts. Okay.
True.
And then we fill it in like I'm getting kicked in a dream, getting kicked by a donkey or something right there. And I'm like, oh, and I wake up.
Since you're talking about this subject right now, I
Okay.
do have to step in and say something. You realize that if they used something like that on him, it was to prevent him from further reproducing on our planet.
Okay.
How do
Well,
you control the wild animal population? How do you control the pet population?
spay and neuter. Spay
See?
and neuter.
Strong, you're twisted. You're really twisted. I like you a lot.
All right, I'm back out again.
Okay.
Well, you took the chance. Here you are.
Yeah, there it is. Pinball. Oh.
Oh my.
Bang. Oh.
Yeah, really. You know, he has an excellent point though, because that sort of thing would pierce the prostrate and do some other damage
Yeah.
that might not be
It's not the optimal
noticeable
way
right
to
off.
do it. Definitely not the optimal way to do it.
I
I
would
think
think not.
I mean, come on. We don't even do that to animals,
No.
okay?
No, we
When
just lop it off and say, "Here, go and sin no more."
No, I mean, not talking about I mean, when we take a sample, like,
Oh, a sample? Yeah.
yeah, when we go sampling animals, when we get, lions and tigers samples, we don't do that,
No.
okay? There are ways to do that without hurting them, and it yeah, we have like you said, we have been monsters to the animals for scientific research. I
Sure we
agree with
have.
that. We have. And that's not nice, right?
Well,
And
I think we're becoming more enlightened as time goes on, that
yeah,
this is not something to do to anybody, let alone somebody that depends on us.
right. What Tim is saying down here, not the optimal way to get a sample, meaning the 150 needles in the
No,
testicle.
it
That's
wouldn't be a way to get a unpolluted sample at all.
right.
You would
Like,
have blood and other fluid.
okay, now when this is a rough comparison, right? Um, but people, when we process animals for meat, okay, they keep them in a certain mood because if they get scared, they get the meat tastes different.
Does
That's just
hormonal dump and all that from the
right.
fear.
The fear and the
Mhm.
and all that stuff, it taints the meat, so they don't do that, right?
That's right.
And I hate to make that comparison, but it's the same thing for like we're vibrational. We're locked into here, right? And
Hmm.
then they want to sample that vibration too, because apparently they need it. What Tim says down here, it needs to be voluntary and with a reward. Well, if it's not voluntary, then that vibe is different. I've maintained that right now. There's some really bad stuff happening in that way, but
I rather wonder if some of the progeny, uh,
progeny.
progeny, I rather wonder if there being this industrialized factor, that I feel it's industrialized to a place anyway, doesn't
Yeah, makes sense.
mess up the the DNA and the gene sequencing and all the rest of it that goes on in mating. Because, well, let's face it. Now, the whole love idea in marriage and the rest of it has been rather recent. You know,
Yes.
but the cultural significance of it is we've always tried to mate with someone who has a better situation. And that usually means more intelligence and more strength.
Right, marrying up. So
That's
some
right.
people put it.
Right.
Um, right. Well, I will go back to saying we are stronger mentally and physically than them because we are not. I don't know. Just based on the descriptions, right?
Yeah.
Why do you? Okay, we don't just go get a lion. All right, we're the lions. Put us in the lion's place. You don't just go pick up a lion, pop the back door open, and say, "Hey, bro, get in." You know, get in,
Yeah,
loser. We're
loser,
going
we're gonna
sampling. Right. Get in, loser. We're going sampling. No, you gotta sit. Okay, Raven is
There
back.
she
Can you
is.
hear us?
Now,
Is that better?
Can you hear us?
okay, hold on here. Let me end this component.
Okay. But yeah, I think you're right there, Nathan.
Nope.
Where are the
They're
headphones?
taking random people.
That's even
There's
worse.
no idea. There is
Okay.
no idea whether that individual is a strong individual, strong enough for this particular program, or if their offspring will be strong enough for this particular program.
Yeah. Yeah. And they need our good genes. Because
Mhm.
I do believe that we are the master copies. We're the first copies. We're the original. We're the OEM, so to speak. Right.
Right.
Um, they have on Stargate nailed it because Stargate says the Greys have cloned forever. They have no need for sexual reproduction, which really that sucks. Okay.
Well, it's one of the things that makes it worthwhile doing this.
Yeah, and if you mess with that part, you're messing with the process that is already in place. I mean, it's there and it works. Use that process. That you don't. They're not letting it fit. They're forcing it. If it don't fit right, the Asgard exactly the Greys, the Asgard. Booyah Scream Engine. Yeah, I'm a fan too. I got a couple of shirts over there. I printed a Stargate. It was like this big. It was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But
But,
huh?
yeah, you can't. It just the whole concept of them just mindlessly coming in here and grabbing just whomever doesn't make sense to me. Now if there was a plan and a process, maybe perhaps.
Well, I just don't think.
And this is
Okay,
from somebody who was taken.
do what?
I was taken,
Yeah,
but I didn't experience any of that.
right. We were not part of his program,
No.
and it's like the way he was describing, um, the way the kid was going to meet him. We love this guy. We think he's the best. He does great. They sounded like interns. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I mean those kinds of things. They sounded like interns or just the part-timer.
Secondary managers of a sort.
Lower than that, it sounded like
Yeah.
the part-timers that are they're here because they need to work, you know? He
Yeah.
made them sound
They're not
like
excited
that.
about being there at all.
No. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's what is that? What is that? A used car salesman on probation?"
That was a
You're
good one.
gonna love this one. You're gonna
Oh
love this one.
yeah.
It's only got 150,000 miles only. These cars go forever. They go forever. We love this thing. You can fit all the horses under this hood. Give me up. That's the worst accent of anything ever. It's not even real. I just wrote
And
a
it's very
Saturday Night
Bronxy, I think is what you meant for. And
Yeah,
we're trying to go
I guess
New
I just wrote
Jersey,
a joke
maybe.
yeah, right, New Jersey. Did I just write a joke for Saturday Night Live?
I don't
Maybe.
know. I'm scared.
He said Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels was a Saturday Night Live actor, and he was on Dumb and Dumber, but he started on Saturday Night Live.
A
And when he
lot of
said
them
that,
did.
yeah, when he said that, I was like, Saturday Night Live.
That's the place to jump off for comedy.
Yeah. Well,
And some of them should just keep on jumping. I don't know.
mm, yeah, well, Saturday Night Live has really they are hit or miss so much. But anyway, back to the topic.
Well, and there's very little they practice on, and they're what one-time skits maybe. They don't go over and over them
Right.
to
No,
get
they
them
don't.
right.
Yeah,
It's all impromptu.
the Star Wars ones are normally really funny. Okay, Raven has no video. Oh, there you go.
There you are.
Uh-oh.
There. Now I can
Oh
hear you.
God.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we
Yeah.
hear you?
Now I can hear you fine. I'm on the
Okay.
You
computer
didn't say
now.
that right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tablet's stuck most of the time, by the way.
Tablet, the phone was even worse. So,
Okay.
so far so good. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that the connection will keep for the computer and me and technical difficulties.
Do our best here, such as it is.
Yes. Okay. So what did I miss?
Oh, we were
No,
just talking.
we're still talking about Amy's guest, that Chris O'Leary.
Hey Nathan, I'm gonna go ahead and drop out of here. All right.
Okay, man.
Let you guys talk, and I'm gonna go out and carcinogate myself.
Roger that.
I'll be back in a little bit, and I'll be watching on YouTube.
Okay. Thanks, man. Thank you. Shout out Storm for all the technical help putting the show, Amy's show up so we could look at it. Thank you, Storm.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Wait a minute. Alrighty then. But yeah, we were
Okay.
just talking about the Chris O'Leary guy, and he has one perspective, right?
Right.
I have a different perspective. I feel like I was in the hybrid program too. Okay, maybe still am. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go into what's going on with my body. Okay, I'm not. Maybe on Rumble. Okay,
You didn't feel
Well,
violated, and you didn't have all the negative associations with your experience.
no,
Yeah.
no, it was like he didn't say the aliens didn't communicate telepathically, which is real, okay, with me like, oh, you're gonna love this. It was like very fill in the form. Don't put your sample here and we'll move on from there. That's what it was like. Okay. There was no I mean,
sort of like getting in the army.
Oh no, it was friendlier than that. It was a lot friendlier than that. It wasn't like, okay, stupid, this is how I felt. Okay, stupid, take your clothes off and go sit in that room with 30 other guys. That's what it was like. That's what the army was like. And you're
Yeah.
all gonna get shots and shut the hell up.
If
That's
I
what it
wanted
was
your
like.
opinion, I'd give you one. Right?
That kind of attitude. Yeah, it
Oh
was
yeah.
not like that. This was, oh, okay, well, and hey Keith, I hope that's the real Keith.
It is.
Okay, good deal. Hey
Hi,
Keith,
Keith.
we're talking about the hybrid program and the way this Chris O'Leary person has had his experience and says that's every experience. I'm like, yo, bro, you're one person. No person has all the answers. None
Yeah.
of them.
If
And
I was going to feel violated, it would have been by him for including me in his coverall.
yeah, same with
So
me.
I've got a question for you. Well, how did the explanation for the drones sit with the two of you.
They're ours. We're using advanced tech. They're ours. And
Oh,
they
we're on
say
to another subject. Okay, got it.
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. We milked that one as much as
No,
we could.
I missed it, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, she jumped. She switched tracks on us.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's all good.
She's in the area of the drones. You're in the area. Have you seen drones over St.
No,
Louis?
some of the footage that I've seen of the drones of the orbs were like,
Right.
I had those 2 years ago though. Same
Tell
thing.
us about it.
Yeah, and are you still having those experiences, or is that pretty
Not
much
as much.
died off?
It used to be every single night, every night. Sometimes they would be in the west, sometimes they would be over here in the east, sometimes they'd be out here in the south, and they'd stay all night long and hover. There were two different phenomena going on, just like what we've seen happen in New Jersey, where you've got a plasma-looking orb thing.
Is that what you saw?
I have that and the other. And then the drones would be blacker than the sky at night. It was just a black thing. And you could tell there were angles to it, but you couldn't get it in any clear definition to take a picture of it on just
Right. Well, that sounds just like stealth paint job.
Yeah.
That sounds exactly what that sounds like. They were darker than the sky around.
Yeah.
And that's what stealth paint. I've got some of that paint. Some of that.
Really?
It's called Black 3.
That would be cool.
I got Black 3.0, and it doesn't last forever. This guy here, that is the blacker than black paint. And I did that like 2 years ago. And you can see light bouncing off of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's old. It has degraded.
Okay.
It breaks down. It's not the best that it is, but that is let me
the lower part of that figure is so dark that it to me it disappears.
Right. Okay. Now, when I first made this and a few others, right? I would set it all by itself. The camera could not focus on it. The camera refused to, it focused on the wall behind it because it couldn't see the blackness of that paint, right? And
ninjas.
Huh?
Ninjas.
Right.
Yeah, really?
It couldn't focus on it. It couldn't see I could barely see it, okay? And it couldn't it was doing a job. It was doing a good job. It was focusing on the dark background. And then I did a couple more, and I had to set it next to something that would focus at the same distance, to get a picture of it, to show it off, because I'm pretty proud of that action figure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just a quick.
Yeah, he's making fun of the action figure here.
Just a quick
There you
hi
go.
to Keith and to ZZZ.
So the other ones that would start flashing, and they would have like the green and pink and purple and doing that stuff, have those too.
Okay. All right. Now, I do believe they're all ours. Yes. I think I did. I think I picked the action figure is Ruck, right? The action figure is Ruck. He's a toy person. Hell yeah. Shout out Final Faction. But
so
now,
why did they let the American public get worried and stressed and in fear? Why didn't they just, if they were ours, why didn't they tell the governor? Why didn't they just tell the people?
Here you go. Here's how. Now, this is just standard business practices, okay? It really is when you think about it. Now, I'm not rationalizing. I'm taking standard bit. Let's say a tow company, a tow truck company. Let's just use we are all familiar with them, right?
Oh, tow yes.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
Quite.
Okay. They are not obligated to tell the general public when they get new trucks. They use old trucks. If they're doing something on the road, if they're driving something on the road that's different, they're not obligated to tell anybody. They're a private entity. Boeing, I think it's Boeing, okay, is not obligated to tell anybody but the FAA. And apparently they had FAA clearance. And well, the FAA, I can tell you from experience, is not obligated to disclose to the public what everything that happens, right? They do. They're also they're a government entity, but you got to ask the right question. They will dodge those questions like crazy. Ever put in a FOIA request? It ain't easy. It is not easy. You have to whittle it down. You have to whittle down the oak tree of choices down to the toothpick of certainty. There's one. There's one for the quantum show.
I gotta
Oh
write
my!
that one down.
That's
Why am
great.
I? How do
Write
these things
that down.
Yeah.
To the well, okay, say it again. I got the toothpick of certainty. What was the
Yeah, you
beginning
have
of it?
to whittle down the oak tree of choices.
Whittle down
I'm going to make that permanent
the
too here.
oak tree of choices.
The two branches of certainty, huh?
Okay. Whittle down
Toothpick
the
factory, huh?
of
Why do I say stuff like this? Why do I say crap like this? I
I
don't
don't know,
even
but I love it.
And
It's
it's
funny in hell.
funny and it's true.
It's funny in hell. Okay. All right. Whittle
Watch
down
it.
the oak tree of choices to the toothpick of certainty,
Yeah,
right?
it's on the screen right now. So
Perfect.
Okay.
You know, I think a lot of this stuff came up during a time when they didn't want us thinking about anything else. They
yeah,
wanted us thinking about something ridiculous
yeah,
or
lockdown. Just say
mundane.
that's a good thing way to put it. A lockdown.
Yeah, just something that to tantalize while something else is going on, and just don't look at the man behind the curtain.
Right, right. And the drones though, they don't want us. They don't. They're not obligated to tell us stuff. Right
No,
now, the FAA thing. Right. Yeah, they're not obligated to tell us who they grant. Like how many drone passes are in your towns? I have no idea. Who's in the air right now? I have no idea. I would have to put in a FOIA request to find out or to look at the registry. And let me tell you, looking up something on the FAA registry of flight plans is not easy. Okay.
I wouldn't
Um,
doubt it.
I'm going to look at something real quick.
Well, I don't
Um,
know how many flights are in progress at any given time, but it's huge compared to what it was,
Well, yeah.
you
Wow.
know. And by the way, let's make sure that some more traffic controllers say, no, I ain't doing this anymore.
mhm.
And, it's, it boils down to what the hell are they up to?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Even though they're not obligated to tell the public, they should at least tell the governor so the governor can tell the public if they're going to be flying these things over people's houses at all hours of the day and night.
Right. So let's look at that. Let's look at that part of it, right? They did after a certain amount of time, because remember, we're talking about a federal agency, the FAA, and the whole ass government, right? Um,
Well, I've still
they
been in
take
the opinion that it's been the DEA looking for excuse me, for growers and things like that.
well, there's some of that, but that's not all of it. And let
I
me
heard that there was
see,
a suitcase nuke that got.
that was BS.
I heard that
Yeah.
Here we
too.
go. Here is that was a cover story. Here we go.
Darn good one though.
It got people scared. The fear button.
Yep.
Bingo. Okay. Now here is Flight Radar 24. I see no drones on here because they are private entities. And it's like 12 o'clock at night. And this is my local area. That's where I work, by the way. kind of, sort
Somebody
of.
said they tried to pass a bill, and it got shot down to regulate the drones or take them away from the public or something like that. Or maybe that's
I
why
don't
they
know.
were doing that, to try to push that bill through, but it did get shot down.
I think they've been concerned that there's a lot of drone flying here recently. And I think they've been worried that these are getting high enough to get into into jet airspace and some of the lower flying, like helicopters. And just wondering if some regulation might not be in order.
Well, I'm sure. Well, let me tell you, I know plenty of drone owners and operators, right? Rich is one, and I know a couple of people at work. There are a ton of rules you got to go by, and they can shut your drone down at will. Okay, they can make it crash, or they can make it land softly. And most of the time, they make it land softly because, well, they're expensive. The ones that you have to register. I'm not talking about the toys at Walmart or Temu. Okay, I'm talking about the big ones, right? The $1,600 drones that
Stuff
have,
used for search and rescue and stuff like that.
well, even for like not even that much, right? Not even, but yes, there. But anything above desktop, like I have a giant Millennium Falcon drone. I don't have to register it because it just doesn't have the capability of doing it, of going very far up, right? And anything, I believe, I think the guy said anything under 400 feet, you don't register because it's a toy. But over 400 feet, that you have to register it.
Is it
And
big enough to strap a cat onto it?
I haven't seen one yet, but apparently they're in your neighborhood.
I could offer adoptions and delivery service. I'll send them right over.
Just start dropping them off in parachutes, eh?
Yeah,
That's diabolical. I like it.
but the drones, they have a lot of rules they go by. So I don't think we need any more rules. I just think we need more publicity and like public talk about. Tell them what they're doing. If people are seeing crap in the sky, they need to tell them. But it lasted what, 2 weeks before the hubbub died down, and the FAA said
Easily.
Well, it's
the
still
FAA
ongoing.
said what they
It's not
said.
getting as much publicity.
Say again?
It's still going on.
Yeah, but now that the president has come out and said something via one of his plebs, now it's not that big of a deal. Oh, it's just
Yeah, they've downplayed it. There's something
right.
there's something else going on to this, and I don't believe that they're all our military at all. In fact,
No, they're Boeing.
What they call the plasma orbs,
Yeah,
I totally think those are extraterrestrial or interdimensional.
let me I don't know. Let me drop this on you. No pun intended. Okay, I believe it's Atlantis Tech that they are working on because that's what we have. It's our stuff, and they're finally figuring it out. It's Atlantis Tech. It's not alien. It's ours. It's not aliens. It's worse
From
than human.
Antarctica.
Yeah, they've been finding stuff in Antarctica here recently.
That's a long time ago, and I think they're just 50 years behind is our news to our hardware. Okay.
Yeah.
This iPhone that I've got, wherever the hell it ended up, right, is 50 years behind what they have, and they're not giving to us.
Do you have the ability, if I get a video off of, well, I can get it off YouTube, I guess, a video either off Rumble or it might be on YouTube, and tell you where to go, would you be able to put it up on the screen? There's a segment at the end of ESETI, the guy who does has the ESETI ranch up in Washington State.
Bigelow. ESETI?
No, James Gilliland. It's where people go to experience the UFOs. Okay, it's his Saturday night chat.
Wait a minute, Is
And,
this
and at the what?
Stardust?
No, no. At the very end, he's got a bunch of clips of these plasma orbs that people have taken from all over the United States. And he just kind of ran them all together in this nice little clip. And this one is so stunning because the lady's talking to it. She's like, "Can you understand me? Can you talk to me?" And she says the name Jesus, and this thing lights up and just is doing all kinds of crazy stuff when she starts talking about Jesus. It's incredible.
Hmm.
And there's some other footage on there where you see the things like morph, and there's one of them that does the exact same thing that I have videotaped right out here. It's same colors and everything. It's indescribable. I can't do it justice. It's just something you have to see.
Okay.
But he does
Let
like a
me.
little montage of all these.
Yeah, you can send me a link on Messenger.
Okay, I can do that. Let me get it here. All right. It's incredible. It's worth it.
Okay. Well, I will
And that's
three-way
why
it
things are
over to.
somehow they're able. There's consciousness there, not with the drones, but with the orbs. There's some level of consciousness there.
I understand. I understand. Yeah, that's part of it, right?
Hmm. Well, Keith has
Yeah.
made a couple of comments here.
Sorry, I'm
Since
not ignoring anybody. Yeah. Do you
yeah,
realize that the Atlanteans are off-worlders? Yeah, but we adapted their tech. We were using their tech in Atlantis,
yeah.
weren't we? I mean,
Well, tech they developed there, and we learned to use.
we learned to use it, and then we
Mhm.
started making our own stuff out of their stuff, which is what we do. I mean, how many cars have to be? Why do they ship these brand new cars with tarps over them to make them look like different cars? Because they don't want the design to get stolen. That's like Mercedes Benz, and Corvette. They don't want people to see the prototypes before the street versions. Like, look at what we're not giving you.
Yeah,
And yeah, the Atlanteans are, but the society was there. The not the Lanteans, but the humans. They were there. We learned to use their stuff, and we adapted their stuff for our purposes. So, Keith, please go. You know what? I'm going to link Amy's show, right? And I know you don't research, but listen to what this dude says when
oh,
you
you
get
want to give him a heart attack?
I do not.
No, I'm kidding, but it it's
It's very
poignant.
uh
Yeah.
you know what the word is? It's very short-sighted, okay?
Yes.
It's a very short-sighted perspective that this guy gives. Okay? The link is in the chat. If you would copy my link for Amy, copy paste onto something, right? Notepad, and save it for later. Or hell, watch it now. We only got 20 more minutes, and it's a pretty long interview. But he is one perspective, right? He has one perspective of all the stuff happening with these guys. He has one experience over and over and over again because he was
It
doing
really
that.
it's very one-dimensional.
Right. It's not. What's the point of this? Right? There's no spirituality involved. He doesn't seem like a very insightful guy. Okay. He seems like a very two-dimensional person.
Well, it's actually
And
why I asked that question. If are they for using a bad
well,
analogy and cherry picking a specific
got
kind
it.
of person who is not psychic and not able to use their spirituality in their aid.
Okay.
It's a thought.
There we
This
go.
is
Okay.
a long video.
Hmm?
This is a long video.
You talking about mine?
Yeah.
No. Fast forward. Look underneath it. Fast forward to 35.21.
Oh, 3521. Okay. Let me
Yeah.
That's about halfway.
It's over halfway. He does his little talk, and then he's got a bunch of back-to-back, a couple of them for TikTok, a couple from, I don't know where.
Okay. Well, you know what? I can share this. Because there's no audio.
Well, there is audio of that
Okay,
lady
wait
talking to the orb, but you wouldn't have to play that.
a minute here. What's that, Storm?
Let me send Storm the link anyway, because everybody should look at this.
This is some of the best orb and sky.
Yeah,
footage
he's willing to
ever.
put that up for you. No problem.
Okay. 3519, I believe.
35, 19,
He
21.
wants you to send him the
I sent him the link.
link, and I
It's
guess
a Rumble video.
it's a Rumble video, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm. From ECETI Ranch.
East.
ECETI. ECETI.
SETI.
Oh, yeah, he's got it. Let him do a little magic, and
I get on to people for
Pop it
using
up.
the wrong words all the time,
It's a
right?
C,
Don't
not an
worry.
S.
No,
it's on
search.
me, and
It's
I'm
search.
terrible about pronunciation of stuff.
It's not. It's search for extraterrestrial
No.
intelligence.
It's ECETI. It's not. There's two different organizations. This is E. C is in cat. ETI.
What does the C stand for?
I don't remember. Is Renee or Rachel still in the chat room? They would know. They've been there. I can't see the chat room.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Rachel's still here.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask her?
What
Yeah.
does that stand for, though? If it's ECETI, I don't. Okay, well, whatever. I believe you. Now y'all are ganging up on me. It's fine.
We're not ganging up on you, Nathan.
Yeah, the other day, my coworker was saying the word scourge. Do y'all know that word scourge?
Yeah.
Sure.
Scourge, right? She was saying scorch, and I was like, if my librarian was just like cringing. It was like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, no, I'm
She
just
said it
kidding.
several times, and I was like, it's not pronounced like that. I was like, it's scourge. She was like, this word right here. I'm like, yeah, it's pronounced scourge, not scorch, like you're saying.
Well,
I'm
it
like,
looks like
Oh,
it's
he's got
spelled.
me over stuff too, so don't feel too bad.
well, I just when I hear it, I have to deal with it
No,
because
it's
it's like
fine. I don't care.
it's the same button as hearing somebody
Yeah.
chew with their mouth open and they're eating like cornflakes, and it pisses me off. Okay,
Diet
it pisses me
cornflakes.
off.
You ready for me to bring it up?
Ready?
All right, here we go.
We can all still talk.
Okay.
That's what he looks like in real life, people.
Yeah, he does, really.
Yeah,
He's
this is the one.
that drop dead handsome.
Yeah, see, I can't see.
This.
I mean, this is not a blinding light, okay? This is not a light like I showed y'all. That's not this. Okay, that is not that. That is
Right.
something else.
But it can do that. They morph.
See that?
But
How
this
it's
one-
moving
this is
around?
unique.
I
Okay,
don't think it's camera.
you say morph, okay?
See,
I
if can
say
zoom in
they
more.
switch from drive to drive.
I know I can, but my fingers don't work. Sorry, guys.
You'll get it. She gets
Sorry,
it.
guys. There we go. Let's see if I can zoom in.
Watch how this thing reacts to her talking to it. Isn't that wild? See that stuff moving? It's like a.
Have y'all ever heard of the Byfield Brown
That's
effect?
kind of cool.
Of the what?
Byfield. I'll type it.
Can you talk to me?
Okay, here we go.
Can you hear me? Jesus loves me. Oh, you know Jesus. You know Jesus. Jesus is awesome, isn't he? Yes, he is.
Can you see that? How that thing lights up?
No,
Can't see it through. It's kind of small.
let me do this for.
God is good. God is good. God is good.
The thing almost looks like a goldfish in a way. You have their mouth right in front. It looks like it moves.
You know what it looks like? It looks like a plastic bag that you. It looks okay. I'm not saying it's a plastic bag. It looks like a plastic bag with a frame submerged in water, pointed straight down. Those
Check out some
lines.
of this shit though.
Oh no, that is a misinterpretation. They're not demons. Also not angels. This is a magnetic drive. I don't know how it works, but I bet it has something to do with serious magnetic fields in.
Okay, see this? That's something like I have filmed in my backyard.
Yeah, and then I've seen that out near the mountains too.
Now, this looks like a bad pickup, okay, from a camera trying to pick up a light. All right, now, not this one, though. This one looks like there is some kind of light refracting effect going on because something is turned on, okay? And I will refer back to my other show, Still Not Demons, where when we mentioned Jesus.
Okay, and this one, I've caught something like that.
Vibes change when you mention things like Jesus, okay? This looks like overcorrection of a lens, and then somebody scrubbed it in a program.
Yeah,
It really
they
does.
just took it on their phone. They didn't have a photo lab or anything like that to manipulate.
Yeah, but doesn't mean they couldn't have put it through one later.
Right.
I just think they're so beautiful. It reminds me of those
Yeah,
called,
those lightning lamps.
Guys,
Oh,
I've
yeah,
got something to share. And I've got something to share. You're going to love this. I was just sent something amazing. Breaking news. This is I've got to do this, right? I've got to show this.
Can Storm take that down now, or?
Yes, we're
there's a
done
couple
with it.
more that's really cool. There's
Well,
one other one.
Save it in the background.
Okay.
Breaking news. Announcing the next t-shirt. Oh my God. This is awesome. I love this. Okay. Let me I gotta do this the hard way. Every time I gotta do this.
The next shirt. Oh my God. Here we go.
Shirt. It just got to me. Okay. It just came to me through the Ethernet. Okay.
Boy, oh boy. Just keep piling it on there, Nathan.
I'm gonna butter it so thick. Boom!
Oh God.
This is amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's terrific. Who did that?
I love it. The same guy who did Butter the Bread.
Oh, that's terrific.
On Facebook, over on Facebook. Perfect. That is
My
perfection.
God.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. It reminds me of the Lumberjack song by Monty Python.
Yeah.
John, no memes Clay. By the way, I'm listing you as a co-creator, bro, because of the work you're doing, which is
That is awesome.
awesome. I
My
freaking
God,
love
that's
that.
hysterical.
I freaking love that.
Holy
By the way,
How you come up
hey,
with this stuff, Nathan? It just rolls right off your tongue, and it's
I
just
don't
funny
know
as
where it
hell.
comes from.
Did
Good,
you
I
have
think
a-
your guide's having a field day over there.
that must be, or did you have a grandfather that used to say stuff like that? Maybe
No.
give you the genes.
Maybe I've been listening to too much Monty Python or British humor in general. I do
Is there
that.
such a thing as listening to too much?
We're having a
Oh,
good
well.
time, Woo. And I believe this is the same person, right? As on the link that made the shirt. That is, oh, I love that so much. I have to say, I'm going to show it again. I don't even care. This is awesome. I'm going to
That's
show that.
terrific.
Everybody needs the screenshot right now. Okay.
Yep.
That's great.
Tim loves my metaphors. I don't know where they come from. It's got to be the coffee. It's got to be this coffee.
No, it's not the coffee. It's what you're putting in it.
This is, oh, God, I love it.
That's terrific. It
I
really
freaking
is.
love that. I was not expecting it. Okay. I was totally not expecting it. By the way, I'm working on getting the shirts put in the coffee shop. And this one will be included very, very soon. I cannot not have this. Okay.
You need to put your quantum show on there somehow.
I want to put like if the logo's here, I want to put like something right here. You know, but I need to find somebody that does that not rip me off, because that stuff, it gets expensive. There was a dude in England I was working with, but he started getting hard to work with. Okay, I'll just say that. I made several shirts. And they don't do he doesn't do graphics. He does plain text. So I was like, what? Who said it? Who said what? I didn't say that. Nobody said that. I came up with that all by myself. I've never even I didn't say it on Area 52. Who said that? We writers. Oh, referring to his other comments. Sorry. Whew, I thought I was impinging on some kind of YouTube right.
Copyright or something. Yeah.
Yeah, thoughts on
No.
Louis Lozano saying he heard rumblings of alien mothership coming in 2027 to Earth while he was in government. Well, we've heard that before, and it's not a mothership. It's like Keith has said that too, right? Keith has said that too, but it's not 2027. All right, maybe a scout will get here, but
There's
not a mothership.
What's his name? Jeremy Corbell is the one who
Guy.
has really been. There's a video clip of him talking about 2027.
Yeah, well, 2027 something's going to happen, but I don't think it's that, right? And we're not getting disclosure like that. I maintain disclosure is personal.
Yeah, I agree.
Not today. Not today. Not this show. And Wu was also say he's also talking about UFO crash retrievals riding on the craft. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah. Corbell and Elizondo and all those guys have been read in. It's the narrative. They all want to say what that dude was saying because it's easy. It's an easy sell. Fear is an easy sell. Buy this or you'll get herpes. That's a really easy sell. Okay. If you go here and you don't use our product, you'll get herpes. That's a really
okay. I thought it was for anyone who was in the market to gain that.
No. I mean, if you try to wash your dishes in our new soap, you're going to get extremely rotten hands. Buy our lotion, right? Buy our special rubber gloves for this, or else your hands will rot off. That's a fear button sell, right? And it's really
gotten good at it, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's why they do those fear button things like it's an invasion. They're going to replace us. They're trying to abduct us. They're going to rape your children. He said that. He said that
Oh yeah.
in that the part that we didn't play at the very end of it, right? Or maybe he did say it and I'm just not remembering. But the dude, Chris O'Leary, said
Well,
that.
I just think it's interesting. They never pick up anybody who knows something about protecting themselves. At least
Yeah,
not
I don't
usually.
hear too many psychics or anybody.
Yeah.
They always get the people
Well,
who
they were really nice to me. I gotta say that they were not nasty with me or anything.
right.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, I was
And I
treated
was sitting
well.
there planning my escape too. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'd have felt any kind of bad about it, I believe that they would have done something to keep me from doing it or anything else ever again. Because I manifested right in front of them. Now, yeah, they were smooth about it, but I got more tricks up my sleeve, you know, and especially take me into an energy level. Oh boy, I am on it. You're in my backyard now, buddy. You know,
Yeah.
as long as I got my head about
Not
me.
a healthy.
I've got
Not a
I've got a
healthy.
question. I've got a
Mhm.
question. Did anybody else notice in the background of his interview?
Oh, you're not gonna bring that up. I guess you are.
Now I see behind you, Nathan, you've got a roll of paper towels back there.
Yes, I do.
Did anybody notice that huge ass roll of toilet paper sitting right over his right shoulder?
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
I
real
thought it.
impressed by the
I didn't.
staging. I really
I
was.
kept looking at that picture of I don't know if it was a girl or a guy that was like by the door that was back
It was a
Right.
girl.
like,
Yeah.
up in
Yeah.
this weird position, not at eye level where you normally hang pictures. It was way up.
Well, he had his camera pointing.
Yeah.
He does. He apparently doesn't know how to run a camera, right?
Well,
But
that was his first interview. He said,
yeah, right. That what he probably and he's like in television, so he has key grips and people to, run the audio and run the video and the
To fix it
shot
for him
editor.
so he doesn't look like an idiot.
Right, like he did.
"Steady there, Storm.
My
Steady.
favorite.
We don't want sued."
This was my favorite option that he chose was the bouncy cam. That was my
cute.
favorite option, the bouncy cam. Does everybody like the bouncy cam option? It's on every camera.
Please
Every
stop.
camera.
I'm going to puke.
Oh,
Special
no,
option,
Dad.
bouncy cam.
I
mean,
couldn't
what was
help
he on?
myself.
Was he on the back of a couch or something? Oh my god! Every time he talked, he was like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," like he was just like this every time he talked. The thing he said, and he was doing this. Oh yeah, I went.
How'd you like the facial expressions we captured?
Oh my god, that was perfect. That was perfect. Some of what?
I knew you
Right?
did that on purpose.
But yeah, this guy, he was all like, we're doomed. We're all doomed, and we're all going to be abducted and sampled, and they're going to stick needles in our things. And
You won't have grandchildren.
yo, give me a break, dude. Why hasn't it happened for the past? He was quoting since that the president Eisenhower.
Yeah.
He was. Why haven't they done it yet? Why are they letting us come into our fangs, so to speak, come into our claws? Now we have nukes.
Maybe they didn't
Now
believe that we would.
that is also possible, right? They thought we were too dumb. However, here we are, and we have a whole ass Stargate program for remote viewing, so we don't even need chips. And then you got Lynn Hurley. She was Majestic. She was part of Project Majestic years ago. She was discharged. Okay. She was our robot ninja human out there. Okay. She was our robot ninja human. Oh, my printer just turned off and it made a little thing. I was like, what was that? She was doing the robot ninja thing out for us in the Stargate Majestic program. She doesn't like to talk about it because I mean, you don't want that trigger to be pulled, right? You don't want those keywords to be and people were messing with her and she had to like she's not in it anymore, but the trauma is there. Okay. That's
They're
the way she put
triggers.
it. Right. Trigger where you don't want that shit to happen,
Right.
because
Right.
it'll like break her psyche. And now she's doing other things. Okay. And her link is in the description. Lynn Hurley, and I can't remember the channel name. Let me see if I can grab
You're
it real quick.
talking about the woman we talked to a couple weeks ago.
She has never come on. She doesn't want to come on.
I guess we weren't interviewing, somebody else was.
Oh, her link is not in the description. Well, yeah, it is. Lynn Hurley on YouTube. It's in there. It's under. Oh man,
So that bothered me too. He was very blithe about it, and then suddenly manic, and then very blithe about it, and then suddenly manic. It was like, and he kept looking at his notes. You know, why
right.
do you need notes? I remember what the hell happened very vividly.
Oh, I know why. Because he wanted to put on a good show. He's a comic writer. He wanted to make sure the tagline hit, and he didn't want to do like I do, pause. The pauses and the broken
Mhm.
speech, and I get it.
Television kind of avoids the pausing because it costs money.
Right, right, and it puts on a better show
Yeah.
when when I do prepared shows versus off the cuff shows. I say I've got all these notes. That shows those are usually better than the
Yeah.
off the cuff shows. I mean, it just I
And
have
it just seemed to be by turns very agitated and then very manic. And it's just, wow.
right. It didn't seem like it sounded a lot scripted. It did. It sounded
Yeah.
more scripted than not. And huh. Okay, well, I
It
don't
would be taking one instance of something and blowing it up as far as he could
well,
blow it.
saying one instance is all instances. No, it is not.
And no, it's not.
One thing, I mean, how would you get an implant other than be abducted? Let's go over all the stories to find out how many ways. Not abducted. Okay, right then and there. Or they came to you. They didn't take you to them, they came to you.
Tagging you
And
for later.
right. We don't abduct every whale that we tag, every shark, every tiger or buffalo. We don't abduct them. We go to them.
Sure.
I mean, it just seems after everything. I don't know how, okay, given anyone's personal experience, one method does not describe every method. That's like saying you can only use Ford carburetors on everything. You
Yeah.
can't use Ford parts on. If you can't use it, it doesn't exist. It's just you're imagining things. What? Give me a break.
I think that the statement was really insensitive to anybody else who had experienced anything remotely like it.
Yeah, and the bliss part, like oh man, if Lynn was still in this and she heard him talking, she would have been pissed because she was like outer space super ninja robot person, right?
Yeah.
And that she wasn't in the hybrid program. She was in a different program. I was in a different program too. All of us were in different parts of different programs put on by different people. Um I asked Keith about this on email And he goes, and yeah, those guys do exist. His descriptions. Oh, and by the way, it was a little bit different in the audio only thing than the video thing, right?
Mm.
It was a little bit different. They were not all grays and all tall grays. They were ranging in colors from light blue to light green to light lime green, sorry, to light fuchsia, like purple. And what happened to those guys, right? Why weren't those guys mentioned in the video part when they were in the audio part? And he was
Yeah.
dismissing everybody
Well, I
about
don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a big fan of tearing up somebody. I'm not.
me neither.
I don't like somebody like that who he virtually invited that because of his one size fits all attitude,
Right.
and it some of it was downright ludicrous.
Yeah, like this is the only screwdriver you'll ever see. Give me
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
there's
Now I've forgotten bits of the abduction that I had,
hmm
but I remembered it again, and it was the same memory. You know, I
right.
mean, when you've been abducted, you don't sit there and say, "Oh, I got to remember every bit of this." Actually, you want to put it behind you as fast as you can.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
you'd rather have it be somebody else that was taken, not you.
Mhm.
It
In that
just
regard,
the whole presentation of the thing, just seems 2 degrees off.
yeah, and you know what? That talking with his head was a little over the top for me. Okay,
Well, I
that
don't know. Who
all those
knows?
he looked like he looked like he got prepared by putting on makeup. Okay, his features, like mine, are not all that defined. You can see my eyebrows, they're there, but they weren't like his eyebrows, like penciled in. Okay,
He,
you
he
know,
had he had a little makeup on just so that he would be
I
seen
thought
a
so
bit
too.
better.
I
I
thought
mean,
so too.
the webcam does not do anyone justice. Okay, look at all of us. All right, now,
Please, that's why I was
But
on radio for so long.
yeah, the only one who's getting any justice right now for pictures is Storm. Look at that beautiful guy.
eyeliner on dudes is really
Yes.
cool. But I was a teenager in the '80s, so that was the thing. The long hair and the black eyeliner and the
Oh yeah,
rock band. Like, oh,
I can't use it, and I've got small eyes, and it makes them look smaller.
and
Yeah.
But it I looked at that, and that the one caricature I've ever seen that does look like Storm. It really does.
mhm.
Yeah. But this dude just he's like, all the aliens are doing this. You've not met all the aliens. Like I said in the first hour, if you go to New York and get mugged by one guy, that's not every New Yorker.
Well, he might just have some good old fashioned Irish, storytelling attributes to things. Nothing he's making it up, but it just,
The air,
Round it
exaggerates
out a bit.
a
Yeah.
little bit,
talking with his head, and all that stuff.
I didn't
Yeah,
notice
just
that.
rub it.
I really did notice that. Oh, I believe you. I was saying I didn't notice that. It's funny.
Chris O'Leary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
He
put his
was,
name
he
in
was
the chat right
on Amy's show
now. This morning. whatever.
recently, yeah.
Yeah.
And if he had a real circumstance, and I think he may have, okay, but he's embellished it a great deal. I
Yeah.
really feel that.
And he's saying every experience is his experience.
Mm.
It's not every experience. Because Lynn, I don't think during your experience, I very highly doubt that they put a cup on you and pierced your testicles 150 times.
I'm sorry, I just don't possess that
I
equipment.
don't think that happened in your experience. He's saying
No.
everybody's experience is like that.
And I know it didn't happen to Storm either, because the two of us went home from that, and we both of us took a very good look at the other,
hmm
you know,
Right. You
and
examined yourself, but it's like,
we made damn sure that nothing untoward had happened to either one of us.
you know what? We do that even when we don't have anything super weird happen. If you go rock climbing or hiking, what do? We look for each other. Do we have any cuts? Do we have any scrapes that you don't know? Did we pick up any bugs hanging off our skin? Ticks?
Yeah, and yeah,
It-
ticks
Birds?
hurt, but you don't always feel things right off the bat. You don't, particularly if you're in shock.
Right.
And
A high
believe
amount
me,
of
the two of us went home in shock. And but the first thing the two of us, I said, strip off. I want to check you every bit of you.
right.
The only thing that was the least bit odd was a sore place on the back of her head. Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the whole thing was it essentially, was a have a look see at me. They weren't bothering him.
Mhm.
They left him in the car,
Right.
which really pissed him off. And he was in a rage. They couldn't have sedated him on the best day they ever had. You know, I've
Yeah.
seen others try to sedate him in a rage. It isn't gonna happen. you know. So, they left him in the car and hoped like hell he didn't find a way out.
Right.
But
And like they said they did if in my experience, they did sedate me,
mhm,
but I was still in control of myself because I manifested right in front of them.
yeah.
The mood changed slightly after that. And I can't really remember. It was a long time ago, and I was in a kind of a stupor. So I don't remember how the mood changed, but it changed a little bit. They got a little more worried because I was able to pop out something from my reality into their reality.
Well, and
And it was
there
in
you
their head.
are.
Hmm?
When they had me in a chair that wasn't there. They had me in a reclining position, but not flat. Just sort of like I'm sitting in this chair, and but no actual chair, just sitting there.
Right.
And they're doing their thing, whatever their thing was, and it involved um, almost what you might consider to be a sonogram,
Mm.
except that it didn't touch my skin. But the big thing was I could see him and I could hear him, you know, and I was looking at the hi. Are you still with us?
Mhm.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Good?
No, don't
Yeah.
fall asleep with a cigarette in your hand,
I'm
honey.
good.
Anyway, the big thing was I looked at him, I could hear him, and I looked over at the one that seemed to be in charge, and I said, "You realize that he is sorely pissed." I said, "If he gets his hands on any one of you, you're dead." I said, "And he's not the dangerous one." Suddenly, it was just like we were back in the car and down the road, but they all took a good step back.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you got
did.
this
I
little
threatened them.
pencil necks. Looks like you could snap them pretty easily.
Yeah.
One strike.
For
One
me,
strike.
oh man, if anybody comes up to me aggressively, I'm gonna respond, right?
Mhm.
But if they come up to me friendly, I'm also going to respond friendly.
Right.
And they came up to me kind of friendly, but kind of aloof at the same time, because
Mhm.
I don't know if these grays are. I'm pretty sure they're robots or clones or biomechs or something, right? And
Well,
he
they
was talking
seem to
about, yeah,
be. They
careful.
seem
That's
not
what
to
I'm
have
talking about.
that
That's what I'm
spark.
talking about, Raven. That's what I'm talking about. Don't do that. If, I know it's late. If you're good, you're good. If you gotta go, you gotta
No,
go.
I'm fine.
Okay. Where's that cigarette at?
It's out. It's right here on the floor. It's out.
I just don't want you to set your hair on fire, honey.
No, I've
No.
done that. I did that recently. I had a candle lit, and I started to fall asleep, dozing off reading something, and
Shit.
Okay to take.
I can't leave you for a minute, can I?
It's okay. Join me and Amy in a cup of coffee. Did
Mhm.
you ever get
Yeah,
your mug? Did you ever get your mug, Raven?
Mm-mm.
You go get your mug.
Yeah, I know. I'm
I
waiting for it.
would say though that each experience is very very different. What worried me about what you were saying about grace, I wonder if they're not missing a life spark. They're not missing a soul.
I think that's what's going on with them. I think they're programmed like AI, and they act a certain way because they are AI powered. Uh, they
So
don't seem
something's holding their leash then.
right. And Mr. Chris was saying that it was the Mantis people. Well, the Mantis are involved in a lot of different things, right? They have a lot of programs going on. They have geology stuff going on. They have human stuff going on. They have animal stuff going on. And I'm with Keith. They're very regimented, and maybe he was involved in a hybrid program early on, an early hybrid program, because the hybrid program part I was involved in had no metal needle cups. Okay.
See, I think it's interesting that ahead of uh well, let's see, one of the first ones that talked about time travel was H.G. Wells.
Hmm.
But ahead of that, there weren't an awful lot of things dealing with outer space. But all at once, we have a lot of literature and talk about it in the last, oh, say, 100 years,
And
probably a
heavily
little
after
longer.
Roswell,
Yeah.
when people
Oh,
started
very
seeing,
much
there's a
so.
big flap of people seeing UFOs all over
Yeah.
the place, all over the country. And
Ahead of that, they were locked up for crazy if somebody talked about it.
Yeah, and a lot of times they still are, and a lot of times the here and now, they still
Hmm.
are. But now we have excuses that we give people, right? In order to not lock them up, certify them. Oh, you watch too much Star Trek. You might watch too much Star Wars, too much Doctor Who, right?
Well,
Now,
see,
they
and in this
they
guy's
made
favor, though, did he not? He made a lot of pop references, yes, but isn't that the reference point of people now? It's
yeah,
the reference. That's our reference point.
that's what we know about off-world people, off-world beings. We
right.
only know science fiction, except
But
the handful of us that are contactees, that we're the ones that we
yeah,
understand that they're there. And disclosure is personal. The government's never going to tell us because we're a cash crop. We are. I mean,
but
oh,
Right.
do you see what I mean? Don't you? That we have to have some reference point in order to talk about some of this stuff.
right.
And this is a reference point that most people are using.
Yeah. I, how do I say this? That's not my only reference point. That's my go to when I want to think about the stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, for fun.
I'm just
But when I
talking about mundane people that haven't been involved in space travel or
muggles, right?
muggles. The magical world is closing fast into science.
Hmm.
You know.
Yes.
Or
Yes, it
other way
is.
around, the science world is closing fast on the magic world.
No,
In
there you are.
fact, there was something I wanted to call to your attention here that I saw an article here. Get it coast to coast. I always check their news.
Hmm.
They have some really good stuff, and it has to do with quantum. I did.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah. They've made a number of strides with the quantum field here recently.
Yeah, they're talking about a quantum processor chip that's going to be commercially available. Holy cow.
Well, and moving something through light. Wow. Just wow. Quantum sliders. My Wawa is talking about the front door. She's gonna tear him up. It's gonna be awful.
They're
Okay.
visiting you.
She's good at talking about it.
A new glowing molecule invented by AI would have taken 50 million years to evolve in nature, scientists say. They hope that it's going to, it's similar to what's found in a jellyfish, and will help in the development of new medicine. But it's a glowing molecule invented by artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and that jellyfish, if I remember correctly, is by and large immortal.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
about them apples?
Yeah. They even caught a phantom giant jellyfish 33 feet long.
Wow.
It has babies out of its mouth. Isn't that gross?
I've told babies to get out of my mouth, but never had one.
Let's see.
And this is for Eric.
Don't put your thing in. Don't put your tractor in there. That's nasty. No.
Yeah, this is for Eric. Eric was asking, what kind of ship is that on my shirt? California class, lower decks, baby. There you go, California class. Love it. Anyway, there's that. It's Star Trek. Yeah, it's lower decks. Special order. But anyway,
the thing with this immortality business is, and of course, we've maintained this for practically all of our existence, is the fact that we are connected to deity.
Mm-hmm.
And without that spark, it just ain't, it isn't, we don't have that spark of creativity. We don't have a lot of things manifesting
That's what I
the
wondered
rest
about.
of it.
Like all these clones and stuff. Do clones have a soul?
I don't know. I've never met one.
And do they know that they're a clone?
That is another show, Raven. And we're over the end right now. So
Yeah, I see Tiger's gonna be yelling at us.
Yeah,
pretty soon if he hasn't dropped off entirely.
Yeah. Well, okay, y'all. This has been the Quantum Show panel discussion. I hope everybody had a good time. I sure did.
Oh, yeah.
There is more than one kind of alien, more than one kind of gray, more than one kind of experience. They're not all pins in your testicles experiences, okay? They're not all like that. I guarantee they're not all like that. So
That's one thing that Tim is saying here. Clones can have a soul. And in the thought process, I just want to say this real quick. A clone is still made from a human parts, human DNA. You
Yep.
know, so
And we
I
are
suppose it's
quantum.
possible.
We are. You know what? We are quantum linked
Mhm.
to every. We imbue the thing. Like, you know what? If anybody else had made my microphone stand, it wouldn't work for them because I have imbued it with my own
With
quantum
your
link.
energy.
It's this right. I. It's a form of manifestation, right? I made this. Okay, I made this on the printer, right?
Cool.
And I
Mhm.
put it together. I I did it. Okay, and every time somebody else tries to make something like what I release, they don't get it right. There's something
Mhm.
wrong with it. They can't make it work. Okay, now I'm getting the red light. Aussie is saying, please like and subscribe if you're here. You're quantum. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. Show's over. You're on my time now, buddy. You know?
Mhm. Hit that like and subscribe button. We got to feed people here.
Right. The quantums don't grow on trees, y'all. No,
Right. We got to go pay for those things.
they are.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
oh, we are so going to hell for that. You know?
It can't go to hell. Satan still has that restraining order against me.
Oh, well, wherever you are, I am.
Right.
Okay, everybody. Like I said, thanks for coming by. This has been a great show. I really like the topic. Of course, it's always why is it always
Great.
aliens? Because it just is. Amy is writing the show again for me. Thanks, Amy. Shout out. Good
Shout out
Morning
to Amy.
UFO.
Love you,
Alien
honey.
Code 111. Heck yeah. Y'all, we're out of here. Have a good Sunday. I'm going back to work tomorrow. And
My
I gotta get
condolences.
out of here. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Blessed be all.
Good night.
Pushing buttons. Pushing buttons.